Sasa tuliwaambia Mrs. Ototo alikuwa hapa na mmesikia tukisema Mr. Ototo ndiye alikuwa anaamka usiku anamuamsha. So Mr. Ototo ako hapa. Mr. Ototo, mambo?
Fiti.
Salimia watu wangu.
Yaje wase.
Waliitwa bangers.
Bangers. Hiyo sijasikia lakini I'm so happy to be here. So I'm the Mr. Ototo. Zana is our firstborn. Yeah.
Many more to come.
We are hoping so.
Yeah.
I don't know. But we are still praying that moment will come.
Yeah.
Actually tukijipanga nilikuwa tunasema tunataka watoto 3.
Ish.
Kidogo Zana akatupiga knockout kidogo, but we are still on track.
Yeah. I think we will get to that. We'll get to your knockout. But welcome. Karibu sana. These are the bangers as kama wameitwa. Hata mi sijawahi sikia bangers. So venye mnasikianga two people, people marry their opposites. Mr. Ototo is the opposite of you're the man with the fewest words in your marriage. Sindio? The only man.
But I know when it comes to my child, sometimes niko na a lot to say.
Yeah,
but I think the most important thing I can say is that I've never changed my child, with any other child. Sometimes the mother said our child is special in his own ways. But I've never sat at one moment and said, I wish I had another child. No, that is our child. He was born the way he was born, and we are happy to have him despite the challenges. But we are so happy that
wow. I love it. That's such a beautiful thing to say. Unampenda tu vile yako, ni mtoto wako, and you can never if you were taken back, you would still want that child. I love it so much. Wow. Anyway, so Mrs. Ototo amekuwa hapa na ametuambia ametupea story. So I would just want to hear your story, and maybe we can pick it up from when you were told that the child is autistic. What was in your mind? Ulichukulia aje? Ulichukulia rahisi? Yeye ametuambia aligo numb. But ulichukulia aje? Were you in denial ama uli accept?
When because she was actually the one who thought about it first. I can honestly say I was not very attentive, very keen to realize that our child has missed some milestones, and when she brought it up, and she told me casually, you can see what is written about autism and just look at our child.
Casually alikwambia tu hivyo tu venye ilikuwa.
I think she discovered it first. And then now she had to tell me, our child, there could be something different about him. So when I went to the CDC website, I'm looking at the symptom signs to check out in your child. I can remember the most prominent thing was him having things spin around. He loves spinning. Anything he will find, he just wanted to spin that thing.
Spin hadi roho zenu.
So he really liked spinning stuff around. I remember calling my friend. We have a friend who is a pharmacist, and I remember calling her, and and
That's the same friend mwenye ali notice.
no,
Ama a different one.
that
Okay.
is a different one.
Okay.
And so I told her this what is happening. I've looked at the CDC website and I can see all the characteristics.
Tell us what the CBC website.
Yeah, so they have mentioned if you are like looking at the signs and symptoms, they are very clear ones. They are like the first signs you would see, and they will tell you this child could be autistic.
So those symptoms iko kwa hiyo website, CDC website.
Yes, the CDC website. If you search signs and symptoms of autism, I think when you Google, that is the first one that will come. The first one that we will see.
Okay.
So they are very clear signs. They are like, your child doesn't keep eye contact.
Yeah.
There is delayed speech. Of course, there is that spinning of things around, and then they want to repeat some things a lot, so like,
over and over.
Yeah. And then the child himself wants to spin around, and he doesn't get dizzy.
Oh,
yeah.
Like atazunguka hivi,
yeah.
na
I'm not saying it's not normal, but I'm just saying the neurotypical person, if you spin around
you will fall
for like even a few rounds.
Yeah.
You become very dizzy.
Yeah.
But for them, they can't get dizzy.
Oh, really? I didn't know that bit.
Yes.
I knew the others, the flapping.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. Wow.
Yeah, so he can go around a number of times.
Na tembe straight.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he doesn't get dizzy.
Wow.
Yeah, there's an explanation for that. It's a medical stuff. Yeah, so that I think that evening was a very long one.
I can imagine.
I have to be really honest.
Yeah.
It took me I think a number of days for me to accept that now we are going to have some journey with our child.
Yeah.
Our child is a bit different from the others. Of course, you take time to accept some things. These are new concepts. These are our firstborn. We don't know much about how to handle kids yet, and now I think I always say we were thrown right into the deep end.
So I'm here thinking, even as a first-time parent, just a normal child.
Yes.
We are not saying they're abnormal, but it's just a word we may use. Now the normal child, you will struggle. You don't know how to do things. Now there's this child who is normal, but also now autistic. Yani you've added something extra to that child. I can imagine how difficult it was.
Yeah, ilikuwa ngumu. Unajua like kuambiwa like of course hatukuwa tumeconfirmiwa that now the child is autistic, like wameshasema tumeshasoma, and I think it is something that usually happens with a number of parents right now, and it's a mistake that I would also wish to speak about. We have this self-diagnosis.
The Google.
Yes. Which are very scary.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's wrong for you to really observe your child and say this child could be having an issue as early as possible. It's very important, but it's also very important that you have the right people giving you a diagnosis. It still goes even further that a teacher cannot tell you that your child is autistic and you just say now my child is autistic.
Maybe it's just slow.
Yeah. Even a nanny, even any caregiver. So it's basically it's autism is just a condition like any other condition, and it has the right diagnosis. There are people who are special people who know how to diagnose it. Yeah, so that is how we began our journey. So that is, it was, I think I took a number of days really, and even late after now the confirmation, to really accept that now
my child is
my
autistic.
child is autistic.
Yeah, so you went through the stages of denial.
Yeah.
Ah,
For a moment you just tell yourself, he's
atakuwa
going to
sawa.
come around, atakuwa sawa, unajua.
They are wrong.
Maybe wanaweza kuwa tu wako wrong, maybe ni
Delayed
kitu tu
milestones.
milestone unajua ukiangalia him milestone zake zilikuwa
Ziko sawa.
like, you know, we just checked all the milestones, you know. Ile design unaenda hospitali unaulizwa mtoto alikuwa ameenda, kila kitu imekuwa sawa, mtoto anakula sawa. You just look at him, you just see a usual child, you know, a neurotypical child, but alikuwa but sasa lazima, well, like ndo wanasema lazima it has to be somebody you can tell mtoto iko sawa.
So what you're saying, what you're telling parents and what I'm hearing is, if you're there, you're home and you suspect that your child is autistic, ama watu wamekuwa kikwambia there's just something off about the baby, usijijazie. It's just good to seek medical advice. And you know what I have felt is, at least these days watu wanaongelea na unaweza enda hospitali uambiwe your child is autistic. I think kitambo autism was there, but many people didn't know.
That's very true.
So we would see children who are like that. Maybe tungewaita kilema, ama there were just names to these children, but now it is so clear. At least watu wana come out wanasema my child is autistic, and I'm really really loving it that we are able to even have this conversation. I don't think kitambo ilikuwa possible.
Ilikuwa ngumu, you know, because I think there was stigma just around the condition. You know, such kids, most of them were kept either at home, mtoto apelekwi hata mahali.
Imagine even up to date there are some who are still hidden at home, and the reason as to why they are hidden, it's the society basically. So probably the society watasema wewe ni mchawi, mtoto wako amerogwa, maybe there is something you did wrong, ndio mtoto akakuwa autistic. You know, people say that a sin, maybe you sinned, alafu mtoto wako sasa akabeba hiyo sin. Manze, society can say a lot of things, and those are things that have been said over and over again. And that's why I think people hide their children for let's say shame.
Tunaweza sema ni shame,
na kuprotect,
pia unajaribu kuprotect mtoto, you know, from the harmful words. So wow. It's basically, ndo nasema, it's basically it has a wide range of issues. Like, kuna wale wataogopa that shame, na wale watajiuliza watu wataniona aje. You know, there's also quite a lot of bullying, especially online. But all I can say is that an autistic child is just a child like any other child.
I love it.
It's like you could give birth to maybe a child who is not able to speak. They are still a child.
They're still child. Loved children.
So it is just, it's basically ni mtoto tu. So na uzuri right now, actually the beauty about all these is that kuna number of support communities. I can see, nimeona hapa hivi hata mkona mpaka t-shirt imeandikwa a proud dad. Hey, this is yours. Actually hata tuko na events. Actually it's that's why nasema we are really growing. Of course we are not yet there. When you look at the communities that we joined, right from the moment that we discovered now our child is autistic, we need to get into communities, because that is what we are encouraged to do. Of course it's been very important.
Msimfiche kwa nyumba, atoke.
At least I remember there's a training that my wife encouraged me to attend. And it was at the Parklands Baptist Church. And they were organizing a training for autism. Just basically it was an awareness kind of thing, but they had invited a number of guests from outside, specialists who came to speak to people about autism and stuff. And so tukaenda, nakumbuka ni mimi, I was the only man in that training.
But well done Frank.
But
Mr. Toto,
nasema I proudly nilikuwa naenda kwa hiyo event, nasikiza. I took a lot from it. And I can say such kind of trainings really open up people. They open eyes. DTSK has been a very important platform.
What is that?
DTSK is a community for parents who have special kids. It is not necessarily now for autism. DTSK is the community, is the biggest community for parents and kids with special needs.
I love it.
Yeah, especially wale walianzisha, wanaweza kuambia ilikuwa mlima.
At least things have been made a little bit easier for you.
Nadhani watu wamewasikia special need cards. Hizo ni vitu zilipiganiwa na the community called DTSK. Ni wale, like, those are the people who came up with those kind of things. Wali come up na hizo policies, wakasema you have seen the senator. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting her name. She's been very vocal with policies on special needs. She is actually, the senator is she's blind. Differently. She's blind.
I know her.
So she's been very supportive to make sure that we have our children integrated. And so I'm saying all these, it's the importance ya kuwa kwa hizo
communities.
Watoto msi, like, hatufai kuficha watoto kwa nyumba,
watoke.
Hao ni watoto sisi hata tunapelekanga mtoto anacheza na wengine.
I love it. Let's say kama mnaenda kwa mall, mnampeleka anacheza. How has that been? Hiyo venye watu wanamuona ako different, probably anapiga kelele ama anafanya kitu. How has that been?
Of course kuna wale hawaelewi, but I've come to realize that it's really like, it's people are beginning to embrace this aspect that it's part of our society now. Kwa sababu nakumbuka there's this one moment nilikuwa nimepeleka mtoto Sarit Center kucheza, and you know that time we were just trying to put him off music because we were told we have to cut off music in Baby Shark. We had to really cut off on screen time for them. So it's part of the process.
What do they do? There's something
so like they really build up anxiety.
They become hyperactive.
So if he's really, like, he wants that song to keep playing over and over again, so there's that anxiety that hizo vitu zina cause.
And then you mentioned that they love doing one thing repetitively. So if it is one song amependa, itarudiwa, irudiwe.
So I remember this one time nikaenda pale Junction, there's a playground. There's actually something they have made that is quite big. It's really beautiful. It's within the mall where kids can go and play. And so it has slides. Slides are one of his favorites. So ikafika point akasikia his favorite song is playing on the speakers, and so he stopped. So he couldn't really do much. When he started crying. So watu waelewi analia kwa nini, najaribu
calm
down, back to his so at least I went to the people and told them, my child is this and this, and I would
He
really
liked that
appreciate
song.
if you were to reduce the music totally, where like they cannot hear it.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't distract his play.
Wow, I love
And they
that.
kind of understood.
They were
So,
kind enough.
yeah.
Wow.
They are kind enough to understand it, and they reduce the volume.
I love
and so
it.
I'm saying, tell people about your child.
Yeah.
Like, feel confident to tell people that, my child is not like any other child. Of course, he's like any other child, but he's able differently.
Yeah.
My child may not understand what you are saying, or rather may not, anaweza kuwa aelewi unamwambia nini, ama anaweza fanya vitu zake vitofauti na wengine.
Yeah.
So unawashow tu, unawaambia this and this is happening.
Yeah.
It is just creating awareness, kwa sababu ukiona, if you tell one parent that ukiambia mtu mmoja that my child ako hivi kwa sababu ya hivi, at least amepata message. And they are going to see another child tomorrow, watasema
that is you guys.
Mnakaa
poa.
That is my son. We used to go to shoots.
So cute.
We still do the shoots.
I love it.
Once, but sasa tulipunguza, but during his first year we did a shoot every month.
You know what I'm hearing you say is show people how you want your child to be treated.
Yes.
Tell them how your child is, so that you don't have expectations, and yet you've not told them.
Yes.
Because even the world doesn't know. Like me, if I met him for the first time, I'm a stranger, I wouldn't know. And probably I will not be kind. But if you told me, then you've shown me how to love your child. I love what you're saying, really, that it is as parents of if you have an autistic child, or your child can't hear, maybe they are deaf or they can't talk, it's okay to tell people, this is how my child is, na umbebe hivi na hivi na hivi. I love it. That's really beautiful.
So even like that is how it happens. And then nime realize another aspect that is very important is also learning about really your child.
Because they're different, eh?
Because it's a spectrum. That is why it is called ASD, Autism Spectrum Disorder. On this spectrum, there is the lowest. The spectrum just basically is how the autism will exhibit itself. So there will be a very hyper child. At the highest level, there are children who will be very hyper. Who will others will be, there is that self-harm, like they want to bang their heads on the walls and stuff. And then there are those at the lowest level, those who have very mild autism. So it's a spectrum. That's why I was saying
you need to learn your child.
There are things that I think sisi tumekuwa wavivu kidogo kufuata, especially na diet. Diet ni ya muhimu sana.
So how they eat also matters.
How they eat is very important, kwa sababu hawafai kula vitu ziko na sukari. Makes them very hyper.
Anything that will spike their nini, you reduce.
Hyperactivity ujaribu na punguza. And then because hii kitu hata imenikumbusha I remember there is when we really didn't know what was happening with our child. I remember my wife saying tumpeleke kwa play group acheze na watu wengine, maybe ataanza kuongea.
Saizo ako 3 years.
No, that time he was quite young. He was actually 2 before he turned 2. So we took him to a play group. And of course the first few days he was very happy. He wants the swings, the slides.
the books ama
Yeah.
kuna books
wale unless
kucheza
ni
kuspin vitu
vitabu ziko na picha anapenda.
but kuna kuanga na toys.
Yes. Yeah, they're very specific with their toys. They will not love all the toys. Yeah, so they I think tukampeleka kwa that center for a few months, I think. And then one day the nanny comes and tells us, mtoto ni kama hiyo shule ameanza kuwa na shida nayo,
haitaki.
Yeah, so like I think they also didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
So ndo nasema ikafika point so the child anadropiwa at the center, he becomes very anaanza kulia sana. So it was just something.
So anaanza kureject, akienda shule analia.
Yeah, so he wants to come back home with the nanny.
And to you now you want the child to go.
Yeah, sisi tunataka mtoto aende akue sawa, aanze kuongea kama wengine, you know, we didn't really know what was happening. So I remember one time the mother just walked into the school and she was surprised. You know, they were trying to force him to do a few things that he was not able to do.
And now the teachers also, we can't blame them. They don't know.
They didn't.
Yeah, they're really trying to help him.
I'm 100% sure they really didn't know what was happening.
They're trying to help him.
Yeah, so that is when we just say, kamwambia to let our child stay at home. It's not an emergency.
Yeah.
So nasema ni vitu tu unakuja kurealize pole pole.
Na shule, how has it been? Mmepata shule poa ama mmestruggle na mashule? Like she mentioned that mliambiwa ni Montessori.
Yes.
So mlienda Montessori, mlipata shule poa, because I can imagine also now finding a good school.
Yes.
Hatujafika hapo kama country.
Yeah, as a country, we really need to do a lot as a country.
Awareness.
Hatujafika level tunafaa kufika na watu hii, because honestly our watoto, number one, we do not have safe spaces for them in many schools,
because they can self-harm also.
Yes. Yeah. We do not have very safe spaces for such kids. Hatujakuwa na enough people who would really understand these kids.
Like teachers, trainers,
people who are trained in handling them, even the caregivers. So nikasema so about schooling, I remember when the doctor who diagnosed him, actually it was a paid at KNH, she just told us, you really have to be prepared. I think my wife mentioned that.
Unahitaji pesa na si pesa kidogo.
That hapa you have signed up for something very expensive. So I remember we walked out of that hospital very dejected, because now we were going to start therapies. People have different success stories, and this is another aspect that I want to be very clear on. A therapy center, you know, KNH is the mother of, like, we call it the mother hospital. Like, it's the hospital that has everything. Of course, we do not ignore the fact that kuna vitu zingine zimekuwa run down, but it's the mother hospital. It's where you start everything.
So they have a space for...
So we were told that we have to start off therapy immediately at KNH and find a school for him. So while we were still trying to juggle around kutafuta shule nini, tunapeleka mtoto therapy. Mtoto akaenda therapy Kenyatta. It was chaotic for us a bit. I'm not saying, because kids are many at KNH. You know,
kama ndio the mother hospital.
Yes.
So people are coming from even other towns just for this
yes, just
for the therapy.
yes, just for the therapy. And so so it was a bit difficult, and so I told my wife we'll have to find a school, number one, and find a different center, because I felt we were just because sometimes we could be given an appointment, tunafika tunapata the appointment is not on schedule, so we have to sometimes wait. Sometimes because of the traffic una run late, so unaambiwa you have to wait for the session that went in to end.
Wow. Yeah,
mtoto ameanza kuwa fussy.
I can imagine.
Yeah, you are seated with an autistic child.
Yeah,
An
they cannot
autistic
stay
child
calm.
Doesn't stay calm.
Yeah,
and now we have been encouraged that he has to be off devices.
You can't give him a phone.
So
wow, you can't buy a sweet for him.
Yes, it was just hectic. So I just told her we really need to find another way.
Yeah.
So we moved centers. It was, I think, one of the hardest aspects was not even looking for a school. Ilikuwa kutafuta center
ya therapy.
Ya kumfanyia therapy.
Are there many in Kenya? No.
No.
Okay.
No, not many hospitals offer occupational therapy. And so the ones that offer them are very expensive.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Insurance, you have to, and ours at least they told us lazima tungoja 1 year ndo waanze kulipia.
But it covers.
Okay. But now it covers, but it's quite expensive still, because you are paying it as an outpatient.
Wow.
A bit, so it's quite expensive. So we went to I remember we started off with Gertrude's. Gertrude's ikakuwa bit expensive for us. Sababu pia tulikuwa lazima tuende all the way from where we stay.
How much is a session hivi approximately?
At Gertrude's, a session is during that time a session was going for 3,500 for an hour.
And you need like how many in a week?
And they're encouraged to that mwanzo you do at least 3 or 4.
Hey, so that's like around.
So we are speaking
11,000.
Around
11.
Actually 10,500 to 14,000 a week.
Wow.
Okay.
Na bado hujatafuta ya Montessori.
Yes, hivyo bado hujaenda kutafuta shule.
Oh
na
my
si shule yote.
Yeah.
So tukaangana na Gertrude's kidogo. We were not able to afford because that time our insurance was still not covering it, and so we had to move hospitals.
That's so cute. That's distracting.
Yeah, so
producer una to distract.
Because we had to go to now we had to find another center.
Yeah.
We went to another hospital where we still didn't feel really comfortable with the way the therapy was done. It was manageable, but the therapy, the way it was done, we felt it is not right.
Yeah.
Even if you are not a professional, you can know.
You can tell.
This therapy is not what my child needs.
Yeah.
You know.
So after a while, did you find a school for him?
Yeah, we found a school that was quite accommodative.
I love it. I love to hear. But there is a but.
Yeah, there is a but.
Me, I'm happy tumepata Montessori school that the child na mmepata hiyo pesa mtoto anaenda.
Unakuja kurealize now watoto at every point kuna but. Because of course utapata shule mzuri.
Unapata therapy but. Unapata shule but.
Yeah, so shida ilikuwa una need kitu tunaita shadow teacher. A shadow teacher is basically a teacher mwenye anasaidia mwalimu mwingine with with your child. A shadow teacher basically atakuwa na mtoto wako purely.
Yeah.
Trying to help him.
I have seen that in our school.
Do what the others are doing.
Yes.
Like so a shadow teacher will basically shadow what the other teacher is doing. Saidia mtoto wako pia afanye. I
have seen that in our school. So the teacher sits with the child kwa desk hapo kando. So wengine wakifunzwa na yeye naye anadeal na huyu mtoto mwingine. So it's like you have a private tutor for your child in the class where there are other teachers. I have seen that.
So on top of that fees unalipa
unaongeza for shadow
unalipa every month.
Okay.
So
they are paid different. I mean,
huyo hata shule atafuata the rules and regulations at the school. But yeye shule husikani na mshahara wake in any way.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. I didn't know that.
So a shadow teacher has to come in. They say for the best interest of your child, akuwe na shadow teacher, because a teacher cannot handle all the kids and still handle your child with special. Still understandable. So we had to find a shadow teacher.
So it's not the school that provides, you have to find.
Yes. Of course they will help you find a
one
teacher who is,
but ni kazi yako kutafuta.
In tandem with kutafuta ni wao watakusaidia, because they will even be in the interview panel.
Okay.
But they will have to approve this a teacher who is going to fit into our school. And most cases it must be a teacher who has a special needs education qualification. So lazima kuwe na shadow teacher akuja asaidiane. So we were at the school for like 1 or 2 academic year. So there is now
what was the bat? The bat, you said bat. We found a school bat.
So the problem comes in with the pace. This child cannot go with the pace of
other students.
Children.
Yes.
Okay. Whatever these children are learning may not be the pace at which your child is absorbing things.
Absolutely.
Let's say your child is not verbal, so we say normally is non-verbal.
Aongei.
So mtoto haizi chukua instructions verbal, mwambie nipe ile kitu akupe. Ama mwambie andika A mpaka Z andike. So wale wengine watakuwa wameachieve, wameandika A mpaka Z, so
wako bado wako pale
watamove na So tukakaa chini na our doctor. There's a doctor who's been handling him. So akasema we just actually before that tukae chini na daktari tukasema the progress is slow. So we need to see another way, and so we told the doctor we really need to take this child to a pure therapy center. Therapy centers Kenya, I don't know if they are anywhere outside Nairobi.
Oh wow.
I have to be
where?
I have to be honest, because we have a list of therapy centers.
Na ziko Nairobi.
Na si ati Nairobi anywhere. Ziko Nairobi and they are in quite high end areas. Na kama kuna zenye ziko in this other areas ni chache sana.
Wow.
But most of them are in very high end areas. Kilimani, most of them are constituted in Karen.
So kama uko kwetu Isiolo na uko na autistic child. Oh my gosh.
Autistic hata ziende hata Marsabit. Kisumu kwenyewe we have parents who are saying they can't find a center.
They
can't find support.
It's unfortunate.
maoti huko.
Yeah, hakuna community.
Yeah, so a therapy center now comes in handy. A therapy center will basically, a full-fledged therapy center should have an occupational therapist. They should have a speech therapist. They should have a special needs teacher. They should have an ABA specialist. ABA is applied behavioral analysis. Most of the centers don't have that, but it should be having. Yeah, so a full-fledged center of that kind doesn't come cheap.
Yeah. So this will act as an alternative now for the normal school.
Yes.
So so
basically it's a center, but
it's also a school.
Kind of it's not a school. We cannot call it a school. But the setup is that of a school.
Okay.
They go to school. So all these therapies, the therapies I've mentioned, they work together to ensure that this autism can be manageable.
Okay.
Their main role is to ensure that at some point mtoto atakuwa integrated into a normal
system. Yeah.
So wao ni kuprepare mtoto for a normal school.
Wajaribu kuona
wajaribu kuona kama mtoto ni very hyper.
Yeah.
OT now occupational therapy will come in kujaribu kuna kitu tunaitanga attention span, like atakaa tuseme muda gani kwa class. Wajaribu increase your attention span. Kwa ule wa speech ajaribu kuona kama mtoto anaweza at least kuongea ama articulate.
You know, as you're talking, Frank, I'm just here thinking, these are things that we take for granted. If your child can go to school normally, akae chini normally, afunzwe normally, na apite mtihani, we take that for granted. Yet there is this other child on this other end mwenye hawezi fanya hizo vitu. That what can work for him, maybe it's just that therapy center where now he gets all the therapies, and also now there's a trainer mwenye anamtrain about, his ABCD, but in their own way. And I wish this can be replicated. I mean, in all counties, juu sasa.
So now our watoto actually mtoto hataanza kujifunza like si kitu. Mtoto hatajifunza vitu the way others wanajifunza.
Hata kwenda choo.
You have to potty train. It's one of our biggest struggles.
Can imagine. Sasa kama sisi wenye even these two other children you still struggle. So I can imagine it for you guys.
So it's ni kazi. So when you see a parent trying to tell you it's hectic to raise
an autistic ama a special need child.
It's honestly very expensive because na watoto watavaa diapers for so many years. Because they are not still able to potty train. So you cannot put them off diapers. Yes.
So mi nikisikiza hivyo tena nataka kuuliza how can the society based from your experience, not even society, people around you, how would you have wanted them to behave differently towards you and your child? Maybe like even me as a friend, probably I don't ask enough times how you're doing. As in, ungependaje watu wenye wako around wewe wa support ama wa act differently?
Honestly, because in our support groups we share our experiences. And I've seen people speak a lot about the way they feel the community has been hostile. The way they didn't get enough support. Like unajua mtoto wako to maybe someone else, mtoto ni very destructive. Mtoto hata asijaribu kuingia kwangu. Kama jirani.
Hata nivunjia TV.
Atavunja TV. mtoto atakuja avunje vikombe
ama atafunza wangu tabia mbaya.
So I think it's something that nasema inafaa kuwa holistic, like hata community yenyewe inafaa ijue hao watoto wako, you know. Even the other kids need to be told na mtoto mwenye si kama wewe, because unajua pia kuna watoto wale wataanza kuscold huyo mtoto ama waanze kumchapa, waanze kumbuli,
kumavoid.
And so I think what the community can do, the immediate community, ni like kupenda watoto, also love their parents. Unajua kuna wale hata wana avoid parents, wakiwa na mikutano ya wazazi hawataki kuinvite these parents.
No. You mean
it happens because kuna wale to them they are
what do you mean? Ati kuna meetings a parent but they don't invite a parent?
That happens. It is there. I've seen it in the communities,
even in family gatherings, I think.
Yes.
Asikuja na ule mtoto wake
ule mwenye atakuja
kutuletea aibu, kutusumbua.
Hey,
that's so sad really.
So I think ni ile like create awareness.
Kila
mtu ajue, and I'm so happy that there are people coming now with very, very important programs. Churches are now coming out to assist.
They are doing trainings, they are doing walks, they are doing awareness. And you were mentioning that you have you in the support community you also have mnapanga fun activities for the children. Wow, I love it.
So even churches, you know, Kenya is quite a nini yenye inapenda kanisa sana. I would wish that we start this from the church level.
That maybe we can have a space hata ya you know, watoto kwa kanisa Sunday, so that wazazi wasikae nyumbani ama, you know, most children are left at home. Wazazi wanaenda church na hao wengine. So if kama kunaweza kuwa na space, it can be awesome. Wow, like thank you, Frank.
Having a space for the kids, having a friendly space for this kind of kids, it's very, very important.
Wow, thank you, Frank. That was, umetufungua macho. I think we may have this conversation again. Juu haiwezi isha na siku moja. It's a lot.
But it's also it's something, and I want to encourage, kumalizia encouraging fathers, because kuna wale, I was saying this before even the show started.
Talk to the dads. Talk to them. Encourage them.
I was just telling the fathers that honestly, be very proactive with your child, be it a special child, be it a neurotypical child, normal child. Mtoto wako kwa katika maisha yake. Unajua kuna wale wazee, mama anazaa mtoto, unaona ako na shida kidogo,
anamtoroka,
unapotea.
It's been real.
Because honestly, kuna siku nilikaa chini nikajiuliza, if at some point ungekutana na my wife and she had to raise
that child alone. Oh my gosh.
You know, it could be very difficult. And in these communities, there are people who are raising their very, very noble women who are raising their kids wenyewe, and their fathers are there. And so I just want to encourage fathers that this is your child.
Wow.
Be very proud of your child. Take the initiative. Be the father.
Be present.
Child. Be very present. Be very proactive. Support the mother. Support the child. And it's really a blessing. I
love it. I'm so proud of you, Frank. Very proud of you. Your wife called you Mr. Toto, but me, I call you Frank. I am so proud of you for being present, for loving your child just the way your child is. That child is loved. is loved and is out there, is treated very well, very well done. So kwa wale wazazi wenye especially the men wakiona hivyo watasema kwetu hakunanga huyu mtoto ni wewe umetuletea, kwetu hakuna ulemavu ni wewe umeleta, please that child is the same as that other child. They are all the same, they are all loved, they are loved by God, they should be loved by the community. So thank you very much, and thank you for this conversation. It's not easy, but it has taken courage. Thank you.
Karibu sana. And autism is not genetic. Hakuna mtu amesema ati autism inatoka mahali.
Imagine.
Ndio useme hii ilitoka kwa kina bibi ama inatoka kwa kina bwana. No.
Yes.
Nothing has been discovered yet. They are still doing
research. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us. Tunashukuru sana.
Karibu. I have enjoyed this conversation. I have learned a lot.
Yes,
I'm taking it home.
Yes.
Yeah, and thank you for being
just
kind.
Hope that this can help parents out there.
It will.
And even kids.
Yeah. So, would you mind if we shared your contacts with anyone that would ask? Maybe someone is out there and they're looking for communities and they're looking for support system. If someone asked us, should we share your number with them?
Actually feel free. We don't.
So tunaweza andika hapa.
I've always said as long as it's a community that is supporting autism, I will always be there. I'm doing the best I can to also learn much about autism. I'm not trying usinipigie ukiniambia ati sasa nikwambie nini utafanya, because I'm going to direct you.
Msisumbue Frank.
I'm going to direct you to people who can help, because I'm sure hata kwa hizo communities when we meet, people ask so many questions. How can I help my child? How can I do this? I will guide you to the communities where we share all these things.
Awesome.
All the knowledge.
Awesome. So mmesikia, we will be sharing their contacts. If you need support, utawauliza ama utawa contact. Thank you so much. Thank you Frank. Thank you for real.
Yes.
And thank you guys. Thank you bangers. Bangers. Kama venye tuliwaambia, Daily Quest ni place tunakuwa real, place yenye tuna have fun, na leo kusema ukweli, as much as we've had fun, we've been very real, and these are conversations that need to continue. Tulisema hii ni place yenye tunaongea vitu zenye aziongelewi, vitu zenye aziko out there, and that's what we are really trying to do. So keep it locked here. Tutaendelea kuwaletea watu wenye tutaongea nao real conversations. Muendelee kutusukuma. By the way, we shall continue bringing you beautiful conversations, beautiful podcast, and please subscribe, share, watch, rewatch, and everything else in between. Until next time, it's been real. Thank you for watching.